All right, shalom, shalom. First, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutations to the Akim who are teaching the word in sincerity and truth. And blessings to the elect and the 1/3 who are predestined to be saved. Now, I'm coming for a lesson on basically what's happening over there in our homeland and how things are shifting very quickly. All right, now I'm gonna play this video. All right, and listen to what this is the Russian UN representative. Listen to what he's saying.
So, thank you. The escalation of the situation on the ground is extremely worrying and appalling. The region is on the brink of a full-scale war and unprecedented humanitarian catastrophe. We unequivocally condemn the acts of extreme brutality, killings, and the horrifying scale of violence. Any killings and violence against peaceful civilians, both Israeli and Palestinian citizens, is inadmissible. What happened on October 7 on Israeli territory is unacceptable. Israel, by all means, has the right to protect its own citizens. We also reiterate the right of Israel to ensure its security. However, there are two inseparable dimensions of the unfolding tragedy, and we can't highlight one and ignore the other. Indiscriminate shellings of residential areas in Gaza, cutting this territory from water and electricity, its blockade, which brings to our minds in particular the memories of the siege of Leningrad during the Second World War, are also unacceptable. There are human lives that matter most. Israel's actions of collective punishment of Gaza citizens, as well as its demands to evacuate more than 1 million civilians in 24 hours and concentrate them in a de facto ghetto in the south of the sector, are also unacceptable and can lead to irreversible catastrophic consequences regionally and globally. The root causes of this situation are of critical importance. Our Western colleagues do their best to promote the narrative that the current escalation happens out of the blue because a band of savage terrorists attacked Israeli civilians. The US is especially insistent that the whole situation was unprovoked and Hamas are outcasts enjoying no support. If it were so, there would be no protests in the West Bank against Israel's actions and no widespread Arab and Muslim support for Palestine. We shouldn't ignore that the current flare-up of violence happens against the background of Israel's systematic violations of the decisions of the UN Security Council and the General Assembly, including the illegal expansion of settlements, which is regularly condemned by the vast majority of UN member states.
That's right.
We are all appalled by the fact that the Palestinians are being forcefully ousted from their land and their houses demolished. Any attempt to ignore this context is a clear manipulation of facts, which we cannot support. Let me be clear, the responsibility for the looming war in the Middle East, to a large extent, lies on the United States. It is Washington that recklessly and selfishly blocked the work of the Middle East Quartet of international mediators in an effort to monopolize the peace process and limit it to imposing an economic peace with Israel on the Palestinians and other Arab countries without solving the Palestinian question. We consistently warned against this, saying it will backfire one day. So it did. You all know well that for years the US blocked any reaction, any signal from the UN Security Council, any modest call for exercising restraint, claiming that its quiet regional diplomacy is more effective. Well, now it is obvious that it has failed. In the current circumstances, Russia cannot accept the complete inaction and lack of any reaction on the part of the UN Security Council, as well as the UN Secretariat. As you could have noticed, not a single Western delegation called for an open meeting on the situation in the Middle East, while they use every fake pretext to call for the discussions of the situation in Ukraine for obvious political reasons. They are insisting to hold 3 monthly meetings on Syria to show that the Council is allegedly still preoccupied with this issue and to attack Syrian government, but they don't find courage to call for a meeting on the situation, which is directly affecting international peace and security and has dire background, our former Western partners are not hesitating to apply blatant double standards. The head of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, openly declares that the EU stands with Israel, while turning a blind eye to the Israeli Air Force attacks on civilian infrastructure in the Gaza Strip. When Ms. von der Leyen commented on the situation around Mariupol in the past, which was not in any way similar to the one in Gaza, she said that, I quote, "Attacks against civilian infrastructure, especially electricity, are war crimes, and cutting off men, women, children of water and electricity are acts of pure terror."
That's it.
There are more examples of the same double standards and irresponsible behavior of other Western politicians. So what do we propose for the Council? We call for an immediate ceasefire and the prevention of further escalation of the conflict. We are convinced that the Security Council must act to put an end to the bloodshed and restart peace negotiations, with a view to establishing a Palestinian state as it was supposed to do so long ago. To this end, we are circulating a draft resolution of the UN Security Council, which calls for an immediate, durable and fully respected humanitarian ceasefire and for an unimpeded provision of humanitarian assistance, as well as condemns all violence and all acts of terrorism. This draft is open for sponsorship of all UN member states. Today, I have to advise you, there was a meeting of the Commonwealth of Independent States Foreign Ministers in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, where they adopted a joint statement in that way. It was circulated as a document of the Security Council. We call on all the members of the international community to actively support, sponsor and line up behind our draft. This is the only way to stop violence. As far as Russia is concerned, for us it is important to maintain contacts with the two sides. We have long established historical ties with Palestine as well as with Israel. A large number of our compatriots live both in Israel and Palestine. And this is also a very important factor that we have to take into account. At the same time, we have very solid, well-established close relations with the Arab world, first of all with Palestine, which had been promised and mandated by the UN decisions, a sovereign state with the capital in East Jerusalem. These decisions have been taken by the UN Security Council and General Assembly, and they must be implemented. We stand ready for the mediation and we have capacities for it, provided both sides are interested in it. I thank you.
There you go, man. Hey, basically, and this is the Russian representative at the UN, man. All right, and remember, Russia and Ukraine are going at it, and Zelensky is Jewish, man, and he's unequivocally said that he supports Israel. All right, so we're seeing basically Bible prophecy unfold, but remember, there is going to be a third world war. All right, there is going to be a third world war. It's in the scriptures, but remember, the MOTB has to be mandated first before this prophecy comes to pass. You know, that has to happen first, man. Okay, so here at you know, I mean, brothers in the truth, you know, when these things happen, you know, you get a bit excited, and you know the end's coming, you know, the house is going to return, but because we know the correlation in how the prophecies are going to happen, we know that this is not going to end up, you know, next week or next month in the Third World War. That's not going to happen. All right, but eventually it's going to happen. But the MOTB has to be mandated first. All right, so Revelations 11 and 14. All right, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Woe means destruction. So there's 3 woes in the Bible, 3 world wars. All right, so this is basically a warm up to that. And in the last video I did, well, not the last video, but the one before that, I think, I did, well, which one is it here? Let me see. Yeah, in this video here, all right, in this video, I did go into the fact that The reason why there's no peace in that land is because the Lord said Jerusalem would be a bed of some stone. All right. And I'm going to do a video on that because when you're in that land, all right, the Lord kicked us out of that land. All right. He got the northern kingdom, the Assyrians, to get the northern kingdom out first. And, the Assyrians, they put other heathens in that land. And the Lord was sending lions to eat them up. And then they went to a Levitical priest, which is today will be the Haitians today, all right, and some of our people in West Africa. And the Levitical priest said, listen, if you live in this land, you have to live by the laws of the land. Okay? And then they started practicing our customs, and then the Lord held back those lions, man. All right? So that's why those Arabs, Palestinians, and they're not all Arabs, they're different. The Palestinians are different nationalities. They're not just Arabs, they're not just Ishmaelites. Some of them are Edomites from the Ottoman Empire. All right? You ain't gonna live in that land without peacefully, without living by the laws of the land. And I'll do a video on that. All right? But this is a warm-up to World War III, but the MOTV has to be instituted first. And the brutality of it is just Esau being who he is. Because what did Isaac give him? A blessing. And what was that blessing? The sword. And the modern day sword is a gun, missiles, nukes, etc. All right? Okay? And Isaac gave him that blessing. And we know who Isaac was in the reincarnation. That was Yahushua, man. Okay? Like, it says Yahushua was an austere man. He spoke with authority. That's why the Lord said, that the covenant is with who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. All right? That's the covenant. He gave other nations blessings, like he gave Ishmael, those Arabs. He said there'll be a great nation, which means in number, and they are a great nation. They're great in number. In Bahrain, they're full of them. All right, UAE is full of them. Yemen is full of them. Syria is full of them. Iraq is full of them. And Oman is full of them. That's another Arab country, and in North Africa as well, man. And by the way, those Arabs treat our people very badly, man. So you blacks, see, that's why it's beautiful to be in this truth. Because, all right, there is a little affiliation. Because years ago when they had the Ferguson riots, the Palestinians were online telling our people, our rock-headed people over there in America, how to handle the tear gas. And they were, messaging each other. Black Lives Matter, this, that, and the other. Because the Palestinians are severely oppressed, especially in that Gaza Strip. So there's an affiliation with Judah over there in America. Malcolm X spoke about it. The Black Panthers spoke about it. Freedom for Palestine, etc. Blah, blah, blah. But in a normal Ishmaelite country, they treat our people terribly, man. All right? They treat our people absolutely terribly. All right. See, so the Lord is using his sword, man, which is Esau. All right. Now, Genesis 27 and 38. And Esau said unto his father, and this is after Isaac, who was Yahushua in the reincarnation, gave him the blessing, man. And that was the kingdom of heaven. We got that blessing. But Esau was crying like a bitch, like how they are now. Oh, this has happened, that's happened, this, that, and the other. Oh, our economy is going down. There's immigrants everywhere. They're crying. You can see that the Edomites is you so-called white people, man. Has that, and he was crying like a bitch, man. Has thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. So he was crying like a bitch, man. And Isaac gave him a blessing. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thou dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. Alright? And it's the main point. And by thy sword thou shalt live. Alright? By the sword thou shalt live. Alright? And thou shalt serve thy brother. And that's going to happen in the kingdom, man. Alright? Alright? In the kingdom, they're going to serve us, man. All the curses that are on us is going to go on them. So the Lord, alright, Yahweh Shai gave them that blessing, man, which is the sword. And that's what they're using to pound those Palestinians in that ghetto, alright, the Gaza Strip. And 80% of those young men don't have a job. So what do you want them to do? And that's why the media is so wicked, man. The way they're framing this, it's not a conflict. One side has got sticks and stones and a few rockets, and then the other side, and guns, and the other side has got heat-seeking missiles, nuclear capabilities, AI technology, tanks, this, that, and the other. So it's not really a war, is it? It's a massacre. Let's call it what it is. All right. But what did Yahushua say? All right. What did Yahushua say about the sword? Let's go into that. All right. This is Matthew 26 and 50. And Yahushua said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then they came and laid hands on Yahushua and took him. All right. This is when they wanted to get Yahushua, and I think Peter went to use the sword, man. All right, verse 51. And behold, one of them wherewith Yahushua stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. All right. So go out the sword and chop that guy's ear off, man. All right. Verse 52. Then said Yahushua unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. So Yahushua in the reincarnation gave Esau the blessing of the sword. Alright, but that was when he was Isaac. But when he came back, when he was perfected as Yahushua, he said, all those that take the sword shall perish with the sword. And Esau's blessing was what? The sword. Alright, and that's how Esau's gonna perish, man, in these last days that we're in. Alright? He's gonna perish, man. And he has to perish because look at the brutality that he's doing. Alright? And remember, some of those Palestinians are Israelites. And I know that. I said it in the last video. I met an Israeli doctor when I did a talk on sickle cell anemia. When the Lord first brought me the truth. And she said, I'm here to learn about sickle cell because the Palestinians have it. And when they go to hospital, they don't let them in the hospital. That's some wicked shit, man. Okay? So, this can't go on for much longer. This devil will wipe us all out. If he could. If he could. But he's not going to, man. Alright? Now, Isaiah 59 and 8. And this is about the Edomites, man. Alright? Remember their blessing was the sword, right? Alright? Isaiah 59 and 8. The way of peace they know not. So all this rubbish about, we have a right to defend ourselves. No, you're doing retribution. You're doing vengeance. And that's how you know that they're not the people, man. They're not the Lord say, vengeance is mine. Alright? See, the mysteries of this Bible grounds you. And that's why we're going to be tested, man. In these last days, we're going to be tested, man. Alright? Look at Apostle Paul, man. There's the scripture where he said, he was shipwrecked, and he was robbed, and all those things. Now we can defend ourselves if someone's coming, physically at us. We can fight and defend ourselves. But if someone comes and robs you and takes your has a knife or a gun or whatever, and what that person, who that person is, then you find out where that person is, and then you go, you have vengeance on the mind. You go and you smote him. The Lord's going to judge you for that, man. All right. That's why he said, "Those that take the sword shall perish with the sword." That's how this devil, the same blessing that the Heavenly Father gave him, that's how the Lord is going to take this devil out, man. All right. And don't listen to his bullshit media. All right. The way of peace they know not. They don't know peace. Remember, those people in that land, they're Amalekites, they're Edomites, they're the head nation of the nation of Edom. So they're the worst ones, they're the most wicked ones. And there is no judgment in their goings. There's no judgment in their goings. All right. They they have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. There's not going to be no peace in that land, because the Lord didn't build this devil for peace. And that's why, if you look at World War II, right, on the other side, like the Germany, they actually had a multi-racial army. All right, you can look it up even on YouTube, on online. All right, if you put in things like black Nazis and stuff like that, you'll see the books. Okay, and they went to the British colonies and the French colonies, and they said, if we win this war, all right, we will set you free from the British and French colonies. But I guarantee you, if they did win that war, they would have gone over there to Nigeria, and they wouldn't have set our people free. They would have just captured them and colonized them. They might not have been as brutal as the British or the French, but they would have done the same thing, because they're Edomites as well, man. They can't be trusted. All right. So the way of peace they know not. All right. So, and them Palestinians are finding that out, man. Then another way of peace. It's not in their what's it called? It's not in their spirit. The Lord said by this their blessing will be the sword. That's why they make the best weapons, man. All right. Okay. But what did Yahushua say? He said when he comes back, Matthew 10:34, he said, "Think not I've come to send peace on earth. I've come not to send peace, but a sword." All right. And if you go to Yahushua said when he comes back, he's not coming back for peace. He's gonna bring his own sword. All right. And in Luke, I think it's Luke 12 and 49. Luke 12:49 is when Yahushua comes back. I've come to send fire on the earth. And what will I if it be already kindled? So before Yahushua comes back, all right, this place is going to be, like what you're seeing there in our homeland with fires everywhere, it's going to be like that worldwide, man, when he's coming back. Okay? So this devil is going to be taken out. And he needs to be taken out because he's an unjust ruler. All right? Okay? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, man. He's being wicked. All right? And you know what the sad thing is? That our people actually love these people. And that's why you're going to die, man. That's why you're going to die in these last days, man. All right? You so-called black, Hispanic, Native Americans that love them, you're going to die, man. And you're probably going to die at their hand. But that's the Lord's sword, right? Psalms 17 and 13, the wicked is thy sword. So the people that you love and cherish, they're going to be killing you in these last days. All right. This is Isaiah 54 and 16. All right. Behold, I have created the smith that both coals in the fire. All right. And bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. And what is that waster? Nukes. Nuclear missiles, man. All right. Okay. Nuclear missiles, man. All right. Does it not say, hang on, let's go to blue letter for that. All right. Let's see now. The waster to destroy, you know. It's the words Smith. Okay. The blue letter.
Strong's H2796.
Yep.
Kharash.
All right. Craftsman, artisan, engraver. All right. Skillful to destroy. Let me go up a bit. Sorry about that. All right. Skillful to destroy. And those are those nukes, man. All right. Those nuclear missiles, man. And you saw that guy, the Russian, if you go to Russia, if you put Russia, nukes, you know, Russia and Russia and weapons of mass destruction. They've got nukes, man. All right. I think they've got one called Satan 1 and Satan 2. Okay. You know. You see? That's the Lord's sword, man. All right. That's the Lord's sword. So the Lord put the spirit on this devil. He gave the blessing. This devil, he gave a blessing of the sword, because remember, the wicked is his sword. All right. And boy, has the Lord used them to punish us. But that same blessing that he gave Esau, he's going to use that same blessing to take them out in this Third World War. That's how brilliant the Lord is, man. All right. Okay. And look at that, man. And these nukes, they can literally go from Russia to America in like half an hour. All right. All right. So those are the waster that's going to destroy that dustbin that you call America, you know. So they think that they done it on their own. No, the Lord put the spirit on them to do that, man. You dummies, man. You think a man can split atoms and all that stuff? You got that film, what's it called? Oppenheimer. All right. Shows you how they made the first nuke. All right. Proverbs 20 and 24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? So they're so stupid, but the Lord has really deceived them. The Lord has used them to make that weapon to destroy them. All right, because Esau is the end of the world, as it says, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, I think it is, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau's world has to be destroyed. All right, and that's how the Lord is going to do it. He's going to do it with them nukes, baby. All right, he's going to do it with them nukes. Okay. See, so they think, oh yeah, this, that, and the other. And there's actually, and there was a video years ago, I think it was BuzzFeed or whatever, and they said that the American nukes silos that they have, the chariots, yeah, go over them, and they don't work. So when Russia and all these other nations, as you see in Ezekiel 38, it has a coalition of nations that are going to go against America. And there's going to be other ones, because China's got nukes, North Korea's got nukes. When America try and shoot theirs, it's not going to work. You see? So this is the Lord's movie, man. All right? So how can a man understand his own way? See, he thought this degenerate Albert Pike, Morals and Dogma, oh yeah, we're going to make nukes and this is going to happen and that's going to happen. But the Lord controls them, man. All right, so he made a weapon. He gave them the blessing of the sword. so he can destroy them with their sword. And the Monday sword is one of the Monday swords is nuclear missiles, man. So, boy, we need to take this truth dead serious, because things are hotting up, man. You know. All right. Now this is Second Ezra 6:13. For strong is his right hand. All right. I notice it says right hand, and I remember years ago, I was watching not years ago, but I watched a series about what's his name, the Tudors, Henry VIII, you know, and he was a so-called black man, one of our people, and I remember when I think one of his wives conceived the son, you know, he had a son, I think his son was called Edward, I think it was, and you know, she conceived, but then she was ill, and she was dying. And in the drama, it showed him going to church, and he went to the church and he prayed on his knees and he said, "Lord, extend your right hand of mercy, you know, upon him." Why did he say right hand? Because the right hand is the righteous side, man. All right, Yahushua and the angels on the right, Satan and the demons on the left. You see, this is the Lord's movie. The Lord controls both sides. That's what these dummies don't understand and know. You know, they're eating excrement and doing all this stuff to try and do their new world order and worshipping Satan. But Satan's just a bitch that Heavenly Father controls. All right, Second Ezra 6:13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, and his arrows. And that bow is the nuclear silos. All right, nuclear silos. That's what the nukes come out of. You know. Nuclear silos. Is that, I don't know how you spell it. Silo. Yeah, that's it. Nuclear silos. That's it. There you go. That's what the scripture's talking about here. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. All right, which is the nuclear silos. That's where the missile's going to come out of. All right. His arrows, which is the nukes. Remember that film Broken Arrow with Christian Slater and that degenerate, what's his name, John Travolta? Yeah, it was about a stolen nuke, and it was called Broken Arrow. Okay. All right. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, and it ain't gonna miss America. It's gonna pelt America. All right, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Okay, so the Lord is not mocked, man. All right, the Lord is not mocked. He's controlling everything, man. You know. All right, controlling everything. Is it? I think it's 8. Yeah. Last scripture, and then we're gonna close. So don't make it too long, you know. But you know, when you do these videos, it's just the spirit keeps rolling, and I want to make you guys understand that this is actually gonna happen, man. All right, and to take this truth dead seriously, because believe me, throughout your difficulties or whatever, that's the worst death, just burning alive. I've been in a fire. I had a fire. What was it, about 4 years ago in my flat? You know, I was so tired. I wasn't well. I took sleeping tablets, and then I got up to take some medicine or whatever, and then I went to grill some turkey ham. Definitely not ham, because you know pork is unclean. Turkey ham, you know, and I fell asleep on my feet, and when I woke up, the whole place was on fire, man. I tried to put it out, and I burnt my burnt my eye, burnt my right hand. Yeah, man, my skin was coming off my hand, and that was a pain. That was a lot of pain, man. It was painful. So imagine just disintegrating to death. These nukes can melt concrete buildings. All right, Revelations 18:8. Therefore, her plagues coming one day, death, and that's America, Babylon the Great. That's what America's called in the Bible, right? Death and mourning and famine. and she shall utterly be burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. Yeah, man. Mystery Babylon, you know. And it's not a mystery. It's America, man. And believe me, all right, this whole madness with in our homeland, all of those nations have all sold out. They're all serving Satan behind closed doors. Some of them might say they're Christian or Muslim or this or that, but behind closed doors they're serving Satan. That's the reason why no one comes to the aid of the Palestinians, man. All right, but even our homeland is gonna be burnt to a cinder as well, man. As well. So I'll do another video on that, but I'll leave it at that. And we're just gonna play this, which is a classic, and we'll end it on that. All right.
If they choose not to wake up to the truth, then that's on them. Waking up Israelites, all right? And waking up you so-called white people to the fact that you're going down in thermonuclear war. See, they think it's a joke. They know you think it's a joke, but you know what? You can think it's a joke, all right? But you gotta help.
Yeah.
What you're doing is deceiving. So the white man's killing the white man. Excuse me? Russians are gonna kill us, and then they're gonna go into slavery.
Yep, that's right. And you notice he said, why the Russians? Because this was like 2007, 2008, around about that, 2006, 2007, when they first came on YouTube. There was no real beef with Russia and America. But now there is, as I saw in the clip. All right, so Ezekiel 38. And remember, Russia has loads of Muslims in Russia. And they have I think it's the Chechen leader. Which is a Islamic State. You know, they have backed. They're going to be back in Palestine, so it's going to get on. But remember, the MOTB will be sanctioned first.
Russia will beef up its nuclear arsenal this year.
That's right.
This year, our nuclear forces will receive more than 40 intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of penetrating all existing missile defenses, even the most advanced.
And you know what? Why isn't our people saying death to America? Because they're in love with America. That's why you're going to die with it, man. You know? You should be saying this, man. Look at that. All in unison saying it because they know that America's evil. You know, I'll leave it at that, man. You know, don't you know, YouTube to cut me off. I didn't want to take it too long. All right. So yeah, man, it's getting real, man. So hold on to his truth. To the next one, shalom.